another person or an abusive word, I think that man or that person is not looking for peace. So I will urge them, all of us, to check ourselves.
Candidate of SDP, 2 minutes for your rebuttal to the question.
Thank you very much. What we have done in my party as per how to address the security situation in the state is that we called the meeting of the youth leaders and local government experts, and we have lectured them on the need for them not to destroy their friendship with each other or kill themselves because of the candidate. I use my ward as an example where I addressed the youth recently. In my ward, the APC and PDP are always on each other's neck, and I called them. I said, look, why do you want to kill yourself because of NASCO or Abulolo? These people are brothers. Tomorrow, if one of them loses the election, people from the other camp will all come to that place, and they will resolve. Don't be surprised if either of them wins election. The other one may recommend the other for minister, and you have destroyed your own friendship. You don't need to quarrel. Politicians are all about chimushi. It is when they are on the field, they are critical of themselves.
Silence, please.
But the moment they finish election, they resolve their differences, and that is the end of it. And they were all happy. And today, in my ward, we do everything together. On election day, everybody on his own. The moment the election finishes, we are friends. So, and they have taken that message to the grassroots. Thank you very much.
UPP.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum. Issue of accord. In fact, our problem is lack of understanding. What do I mean by that? Politics is not about killing. It's about understanding. 4 people can, be in different parties in a house, and you can make a way. But our problem here now is that if somebody is in PDP or EPP, is not in my party, you started quarreling. What are you quarreling for? And that was why I told my followers, you don't fight for what does not worth for fighting for. Because after elections, you will still come back and unite. And when you kill each other, how do you see somebody whom you might have killed? So my word to people, I told them, for there was a time I was sent on error to Level local government when they are about to inaugurate a party council committee, advisory committee. So I told them, I called all of them, look, party is not about killing. It's about somebody who can deliver. It's not about population. Those maybe people are many for party. But it's about understanding somebody who is credible, that can deliver. And you should stop fighting each other. If you kill us, what are they going to develop if they kill each other? House or the goats, they will rule. So the issue of accord, peace, accord signing. In fact, I've enlightened my followers that you don't kill yourself for what does not work for killing. Understand what is politics and what politics is all about.
Action Alliance.
For God's sake, I wonder if at all somebody will be able to do anything at all in an environment that is not violence free. I don't think it is going to be possible. I wonder what you do in an environment that colleagues and politicians lack the ability to understand and decode each other's view effectively. If this hall today is not fully secured, there's no how this event will take place. The issue of security, it is very, very important. It is something we can never neglect. If I'm given 24 hours or 48 hours rather to emphasize and give details on the issue of security and the need for a violence-free election, I don't think it's just going to be enough for me. But I will drop a little. In Action Alliance, already a preparation has been put in place as regards to violence-free elections. We have formed 3 committees, and these committees are as follows. We have the Election Violence-Free Committee, whose responsibility is to educate people, the voters, the indigenes, on the need of a conducive atmosphere during the election. And we have what we call in Action Alliance, the Neighborhood Violence-Free Committee.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gentlemen, as governor-to-be, Niger State is the largest state in the Federation in terms of landmass. How can you take the comparative advantage of this in terms of agriculture?
It is time for PDP.
It's no longer news that Niger State is the largest landmass in Nigeria, and we have already, as a PDP government, embarked on massive agricultural transformation in line with the federal government's agricultural transformation agenda. The Niger State agricultural mechanization that has been moribund after the withdrawal of the World Bank has been rejuvenated, and the only way we can move away from the peasant and micro level production is to engage the large scale enterprise, and this is what we have started with the Dangotes that are already made available 50,000 hectares of land for rice and sugarcane production of 25,000 hectares each. Already some other investors are already in Niger State and leveraging on outgrower scheme with our farmers for rice production, for establishment of rice mills. Just recently, Niger State was one of the states in Nigeria as the staple crop processing zone established by the federal government to be located in Badegi. And all investors that come to this area will have incentives that will make their production processing at cheaper rates that will make sure that we don't import rice into Nigeria again in the next 2 years. So Niger State is already in the front seat in terms of driving agriculture to commercial level from peasant agriculture. And one thing that we are trying to do to our farmers that can help us now is to provide guaranteed minimum price, because there is massive production by the farmers based on the incentives that are going on in terms of fertilizer subsidy. Already the fertilizer scam that is associated with procurement has been eliminated. Farmers, the small scale farmers get their input directly now, but the only challenge is the guaranteed minimum price. The moment we are able to do that, more farmers are going to go into production and more land areas will be put under cultivation. Also, we have the largest land body in Nigeria, from River Niger, River Kaduna, tributaries of Gurara and other rivers. Based on that, irrigation that is ongoing, out of the 18 irrigation sites, only 2 are functional. We are already in communication with the World Bank, and that if reinvigorated, more land areas will be put under irrigation agriculture, which will make sure that we are producing crops all the year round, instead of the current one rain-fed agricultural production base. If we're able to maximize that, Niger State will be in the front seat. And also in our livestock comparative advantage, we have initiated artificial insemination technologies and other production base. We have a training institute. All this, while livestock is massively produced again, is going to enhance our capacity for taking advantage of the landmass in terms of ranging agriculture from.
Thank you.
My humble self, we first of all take on agriculture, because if you look, Nigeria is the only country that if you look through the top roof of any this, you will see a grow of something growing there, just like if you drop a mango seed there, it will grow. So anything can grow in our soil here. But over the years, it has been neglected. So first of all, I'll pay attention to agriculture. We have very vast land, and this land is wasted. Look at, like my village, where a large quantity of yam is being produced. Think of rice in Badeji. Think of mango tree all over the place. It's being wasted. Why can't we exploit them? The youths are there. I will use these youths to create avenue for them to do their farming through, maybe by giving them loan, giving them incentive farm tools, fertilizers, female as well, and others.
SDP, 2 minutes.
Right, thank you very much. I must confess that this government's agricultural policy has actually yielded fruit. You go all around the state, you see surplus yam, surplus this. But what they have not done is that they have not made the farmers to last to the bank. The foods are too cheap. They are not moved up. What we are going to do is that when we encourage farmers to produce surplus, we will mop it up, we buy from them at a reasonable price that will make them last to the bank. We will create external platform. We create partnerships. We initiate markets outside Nigeria, where most of these products will be shipped to, and our farmers will laugh to the bank, like cocoa farmers were laughing to the bank during the era of IDB. I remember cocoa farming became a serious business, and people were making a lot of money. Secondly, in doing that, like I said earlier, we're still going to make sure that the farmers access enough funds to do their farming. In taking our first bond, the first loan we're going to take, like I said, will be 1 billion naira for local government, where farmers, everybody, civil servants, you can obtain certain amount of money and go and engage in farming. But there won't be problem of surplus because we have created external markets where you can take all these things to, and all the farmers will be happy for it. Thank you, sir.
United Progressive Party, UPP.
UPP. In fact, our plan on ground, if I'm elected into power, we have a landmark scale in Niger State, which is the biggest so far. Our plan and my plan programs, first of all, I will create an envelope grant for farmers, that is, by encouraging them, enticing them, so that a lot of people, a lot of farmers, they've run away from farming now. Most of them run into towns and the villages. They left their villages because of what? No enticement, no encouragement. How do we encourage them? You discourage those that are holding fertilizers, those that come and buy fertilizer in bulk and sold them in a high price. Encourage them by giving them some money, maybe direct. Don't put anybody in the person. If we do that, these our lands are not going to be wasted. And those are our plans. We discourage those that are holding fertilizers. We encourage farmers by giving them maybe small money, give them direct. If the Commissioner of Agriculture will give them, don't allow any middle person to be in between you that is going to give them money. And that will encourage them. You see people are roaming about complaining of no work. And even your house, now, you can plant a tomato in your house and continue to water it. You can make money. But what do we do? By God's grace, if I'm elected, the UPP is elected. Even if you are, farming in your house, we encourage you, go to your houses and get your money. Maybe if you want to go further, buy maybe what is necessary for you to use for your agriculture in land.
There is no doubt that Niger State is one of the major states in terms of agriculture. And as a result of that, we in Action Alliance, we have an intensive agricultural development program in place, especially in the field of rice production, yam, and then provision of transportation of the farmland to their various storage facilities. The Action Alliance have put a plan in place on how to make provision of enough provision of fertilizer in order to boost the production of rice in the state. Equally, there's a plan in place as regard to the provision of dry season farming. Like we know, we have Niger State is placed with river all around. So the issue of dry season farming, it is really very important. But at the end of the day, what we realize that discourages the farmers or the youth from participating in the farming activities is that at the end of the day, they don't make the profit or the benefit they are supposed to make as a result of their hard working. So therefore, the Action Alliance has a program in place that will buy those agricultural products from the farmers, and in addition to that, there is a provision of storage facilities.
Thank you. Time is up. Thank you. ADC.
Actually, ADC government, we are going to tackle agriculture as an alternative to federal allocation that used to come to the state. We will use our own population. If China and India can feed its citizens with the population, I do not think Niger State, with that vast land, will not do the same. So what the ADC government will do is, we'll get in the foreign countries like China and India. We understudy what they went through. How do they feed their population? Based on that, we will apply the same to our own state. That is one. The second one is, during the time of Police Commissioner Hilomi in Rivers State, he had a program which he called School to Land Program. We are going to make sure that every local government, we have about 50 acres of land. We get our unemployed youth, get money from the state joint local government accounts instead of using it for world development programs. We divert that money to do the agriculture. Each local government, 25 local governments will feel the impact of ADC government on agriculture. So these are what ADC will do to make sure that agriculture is improved in the state. Simon Daisai of Leadership newspaper say something about revenue generation, that Niger State cannot depend on federation accounts. We have resources. Resources are there, and we have people that can tap those resources to the benefit of the citizens. So this government is not doing enough at all. There was a time this government took 1 billion from CBN to distribute to the farmers.
Thank you. We move to the next question, and the PPA are going to lead in answering the question for 3 minutes, then the rest have a rebuttal of 2 minutes. Niger State economy is dependent on federal allocation. What are you going to do differently to improve the internally generated revenue, IGR, without putting much pressure on the business community and citizenry? In essence, how do you remove double taxation? PPA, you have 3 minutes, your time starts now.
I will think of mining. Mining, I will exploit it. I will invite investors to do the justice of what they are known for in times of mining, and that I will do by checkmating them too. Second, I will look inward to agriculture, as has been mentioned before. Third, I will look inward in terms of taxation. I have expertise in that field too. So I will engage them by checkmating Then, following up one after the other to confirm if actually they are doing the right thing. With that, economy will be a kind of revolving in the state, and the economy will be a kind of a booming one for the state. That double taxation has been observed here. So, the people who are paying double taxes, as I said before, I have the expertise. I will engage them. Thank you very much.
SDP, improving revenue generation with the dwindling federal allocation and double taxation.
Okay, thank you very much.
2 minutes, please.
Researches have shown that most of the problems we have in terms of internally generated revenue in Nigeria has to do with corruption. Most of what government gets every month as internally generated revenue is not up to 50% of what's supposed to come to government. About 60% go to private pockets. You go to register some things, you are giving fake registration, it is not recorded, you pay for this, it does not reach the government. So what I will do is we are going to digitalize all our internally, models of generating revenue online. You want to pay your tax, you go online. You want to collect your motor particulars, you go online. So we'll bring in consultants to design all this for us, that almost everything that you need to pay to government, you go online.
UPP.
As my colleague has rightly said, in fact, there are so many ways we can generate internal revenue. First of all, you can see most of these big hotels, some of them is for big men. They don't go there and get money. So what is the point is, you get you get the people that can do the right thing. Let them get this revenue so that we remove burden, pressure on those low earners. In hotels, you can get at least millions or billions of naira, and some of them don't pay even a year or more. So if we're able to put people in order, put the right in the order, we'll be able to get this. So in my government, by God's grace, I will also create, as rightly say, maybe a place where children will come and play maybe weekends or festivity days, so that they'll be able to make money for government to generate revenue.
In Action Alliance, we intend to improve and to encourage the importation of agricultural products, and by so doing, I believe strongly that the state stands the opportunity of improving its revenue within the state. You go into capacity building, you develop the youth in the state, you impart knowledge and skills to them, and they become economically independent. There's no how the level of revenue in the state will not increase. So, considering this explanation, the Action Alliance will liaise with the commercial bank, because the credit facilities provided today in this country or in the state rather does not favor private organizations.
Your time is up. ADC.
What the ADC will do is we look inward. Like we have Bida Basin oil. We can call in the Chinese companies to explore, or we liaise with the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources to get so that they will export those minerals we have. If they are able to get it, we'll use it to boost our internally generated revenue. We have other sources of revenue which we can tap. And this revenue is, by the time you have good governance, by the time government is doing what it's supposed to do, a lot of taxpayers will come up and say they are paying their tax. Exploration, if we can get cement, that is will be very good for us. Just like Ajokuta, Niger State is having the same land with Ajokuta, and Ajokuta is producing a lot of resources now to Kogi State government. So, by the special grace of God, if ADC government comes to power, these are the things. We will not even depend on revenue from the oil. We depend on internally generated revenue.
Thank you, ADC. Well, Sabo Bala is representing the ABGA. So you have 2 minutes for rebuttal of the question asked on, well, economy and also how to generate revenue, internally generated revenue, and also how to avoid double taxation.
This present government doesn't give fertilizer at the right time. Mostly they give to the farmers very lately, which I pray if ABGA will be given the opportunity, every year or every time by February, all fertilizer will be going around to the Niger State, to the local people in the areas. Secondly, irrigation farming. In terms of irrigation farming, ABGA government, by all means, to try by all means to give all the important things that irrigation farming deserves for it. Then thirdly, accrediting loans to farmers. We make sure we give direct loans to every farmer so that everybody can be able to make ways of making his own farms to be okay. Then in terms of economy, in terms of revenue allocation, I believe we need for agriculture, giving loans to farmers, fertilizers, applications at all the time. I believe the revenue will not be waiting for either the federal government to be giving us.
Time is up. Thank you.
There is